What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have signed 4 new players. Now they are Exhibit 10 deals and they are training camp invites. But those players are RJ Davis, Eric Dixon, which is good. That means he's probably healthy. We'll cover that here in a moment. Arthur Kaluma and Augustus Marcelonus to Exhibit 10 deals, training camp invites. Right. So this is huge, right? I like these pickups. I like these kind of moves by the Lakers. I think that these are all guys that have a chance to make that. Remember, Lakers have one two-way spot remaining. They brought in Christian Koloko and they brought in Chris Minon. So they are two guys that I do think will stay on their two-way spots. Maybe Koloko if they need a filler off spot at some point, maybe. But more likely than not, these 4 guys are playing for one two-way spot. Maybe, again, if the Lakers end up pulling off a trade or something, right, maybe they end up bringing one in onto the main roster or Koloko to the main roster, and then now they open up 2 spots. But chances are these guys are playing for one spot on a two-way. Personally, I think RJ Davis is ruled out immediately. I think Manon is the guy that is probably going to be the guard for you, so I don't think you really need RJ Davis. Eric Dixon. Let's talk about Eric Dixon, right? So he's a guy that I think, I really wanted to see in Summer League. I'm really disappointed that we weren't able to see him in Summer League. We didn't even know he was hurt. It was somebody stumbled across him in a walkie boot and reported it, and then they had to come out and be like, yeah. So, but we still don't know what it was. We still don't know exactly like how significant it was or what. I imagine obviously it's not that significant if he's going to be ready to go for training camp and got an Exhibit 10 deal. Now, the best ready now guy out of all 4 of these guys is Eric Dixon. He led all of NCAA in scoring last year. He was one of the best players in all of college basketball last year, but he's also a 5-year senior, right? So he's a guy that has experience on stuff. He's probably the guy that helps the Lakers most right now, right? I don't really like the guy I want the most is Arthur Kaluma. I want the Lakers to keep Arthur Kaluma by whatever you have to do. Right? And we'll touch on Arthur Kaluma here more in a moment, but Eric Dixon, he's the most ready now guy. He's a guy that could come in and potentially be a rotation guy for the Lakers because he's so good offensively. He's like a poor man's Julius Randle. He's the wish version of Julius Randle. Right? He can shoot the basketball, drive, kind of put his head down, bully his way to the basket. He's got good size, good strength at that power forward, small ball 5 position. He's a guy that I do think can do multiple things out there on the basketball court for the Lakers that they really need, especially with the Lakers kind of liking those small ball units. You could go with an Eric Dixon at that small ball center, really kind of maximize his strengths, kind of go this 5-wide unit. There's a lot of interesting things that you could do with Eric Dixon. I like Eric Dixon a lot. I would love for him to be a Laker, for his entire career. I really do think he's a guy that could be a difference maker. I'm not saying like, Eric Dixon, that's it. Lakers are best team, nothing like that. Not crazy. I'm talking about by, rookie standards and a guy that, yes, he's probably closer to his ceiling than his floor, but he still has enough room to where he could develop a little bit, particularly on the defense side of things. He's got some athleticism. He's not like known as an athletic, but he's not like stuck in the mud athletic. He's not a great defender. Right? There's things that he needs to work on. Right. So to me, I look at him again. Look at Julius Randle in his game. You look at a guy in Eric Dixon, he could kind of give you a version of that, which would be fantastic. Imagine Julius Randle off the bench, right? Like that would be fantastic. That's kind of what I see Eric Dixon potentially giving you. A guy that's comfortable, has played in big games and big moments and been a big factor and a big part of it. So he's a guy that I think would translate best. Arthur Kaluma is the guy that I want the most though, right? You're talking about a guy that is, 6'9", 6'8", 6'9". I mean, if you watch Summer League, he is huge. Like, he looks massive out there. He's got good size, good strength, good versatility. A guy that legitimately could defend 1 through 5 for you. We watched him do it in Summer League. We watched him defend guards and then switch out. You talk about a guy, like I said, that's 6'8", 6'9". He's 230 pounds, 225, 230 pounds, but he has like a 7'2" wingspan. He's athletic, mobile, right? It's funny, I did a video. It's also real quick, before I dive into this video story, I do want to say it sucks Darius Bazley isn't in this, right? So, we still as far as I've seen, we haven't gotten like an announcement as far as like exactly how bad it is or what. He was so good. I wish he had a chance in training camp to see what he could do. But to shift on kind of like the video, I made a video a while back now at this point where I talked about kind of the Lakers' vision. Right? They want these athletic, versatile, kind of 3-and-D wings alongside Luka and potentially DeAndre Ayton. And I talked about like, man, imagine if a dude Thero actually, or Thero, I got to get used to change. Lakers came and basically told us how to say his name. It's Thero, like Thero. Thero is his name. So Thero, right? Imagine if he actually becomes what he's projected to be. Kind of that versatile 3-and-D kind of wing, an OG type of guy. Imagine him being able to slot in, and then you add in an Arthur Kaluma, who is another version of that, and then like a Darius Bazley. Imagine those three just big, versatile athletes just running all over the place, defending and switching alongside Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, it would be beautiful, right? Like the defensive versatility, everything, because that's what you need to do. You need to be able to mask Luka Doncic. Also, Arthur Kaluma is 23 years old. Right, he just turned 23, by the way, so he's young. Right, you could bring him in. Where Eric Dixon, he's older, he's 24, 25. So he's a guy that again, I'd like to see Kaluma kind of spend a year under the Lakers banner, whether it's the G League or two-way, or probably more likely the G League, whether it's a two-way or not. Even if you don't get him, like even if he's not ready, or you sign somebody else, like say you sign Eric Dixon, I hope you can convince him to stay in the G League team, right? Play for South Bay. I don't want to lose him. I think he honestly, this time next year, we could be like, yeah, we need to sign this guy. We need to bring this guy on our roster. Especially if the Lakers end up trading their second round pick and stuff like that. Like he could end up being the equivalent of us getting a guy, right? And then now imagine having a dude Theros, right? Like, so that would be amazing for the Lakers, right? You look at Augustus, right? He's a guy, again, I think that they already have kind of their guard. I kind of think that they already have their guy. I wouldn't hate if they brought him in, right? He's kind of, I talked about it, he's like your TJ McConnell type guy. Right? He's the guy that's just hard-nosed, get in there. 3-point shooting is a little rocky, but he's a guy he lives in that mid-range, right? He's the guy that come off the bench closer to a traditional point guard, can make plays, right? He's not a guy that's super flashy and that just kind of make plays, keeps his head down, operates in the mid-range, can be a real playmaker and extension for this team. It's kind of what I look like at him. Really, I think again, it's just my opinions. I want to hear yours, so let me know yours down in the comments. But in my opinion, I think it's most likely going to be Arthur Kaluma or Eric Dixon. If I had to Tyler, make a prediction of who you think it is, I think it's Eric Dixon, because I think Eric Dixon is the most ready now guy. And so I think that they'll bring him on one way or another. And I also think you have a better chance of Eric Dixon getting picked up if they don't sign him than Arthur Kaluma. So I do have concerns about that, because I really like Arthur Kaluma and I really liked what we saw. The problem is we didn't get a huge sample size of him, right? Like I wanted to see them kind of play him more, and we didn't get it. But in the limited minutes and role that he played, he was great, right? You saw him hit threes, you saw him defend 1 through 5, switching on centers, getting blocks, getting steals, right? Just being a hustle player, dirty work guy out there, right? Like I really like Arthur Kaluma a lot, because maybe it's just kind of the idea, right? I really want those kind of players. You need them. Athletic, long, versatile defensive pieces, especially alongside Luka. And if Ayton ends up working out, because I really think if Ayton works out, that's our center for the next 6-8 years, right? It'll be Ayton and Luka. Start putting, those three, get at least 2 3-and-D wings. Like, so if you have, imagine the ground, even if, let's say that they do end up keeping Austin Reeves and he ends up signing his new contract and he's the guy that sticks around, right? And it's Luka, Reeves, and Ayton. Then you have even more of a need now for an Adu Thero and a Arthur Kaluma, because you're going to need their length, their size, their defense, their switchability, their ability to fight through screens and contest and defend shots and stuff. So the more that I watch Kaluma, the more that I think about what this team needs and how badly we could use another guy like Kaluma, he's a guy that I really want to see the Lakers keep and have stick around. You know, I do think Eric Dixon's probably the most likely because he's the guy that I think he could be in the rotation this season. Not heavy, like I'm not saying like, oh, start him or anything like that, but I think he's a guy that could come in, it was 40% from 3-point range, right? A guy that can knock down the 3 ball, shoot from anywhere on the court. It said he gives you versatility, but he gives you versatility right now. He's not the defensive piece that you need, but he's a guy that gives you that kind of versatility. If guys get the night off, he can, just add more bench scoring, which the Lakers need, right? And he'd be cheap. You sign him to a vet minimum deal, right? So kind of looking at that. Like I said, Augustus and RJ, I think last thing they kind of need are more guards. You have Bronny, who looked very good in Summer League, and then on top of Bronny, you have, you went and brought in Manan, right? So I just think those are the last 2 guys you need. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.